Hello, brothers and sisters and Hard Dwells family. I had such a good time in worship these past 2 days. The last song this morning, however, the Lord played today was called Be With Me, Lord, When I'm in Trouble. Psalm 91. It's always a song he plays when I'm under attack in some way. And honestly, I didn't feel that way. I thought maybe this is a heads up of something coming. Then right after I began my Lord's Supper, I got the Passion reading. I got up thinking, oh boy, Lord, what could it be? What could be up ahead, Lord? Sorry, family, my trials with Jesus are very fiery and difficult and never fails. I always end up crying somehow, though I try to prepare myself. Then I decided to pull a random card, and it made me laugh. It said, "My child, you worry too much. I've got this, remember? Love, Papa God." I was like, okay, Lord, you're right, you got this. Let me not worry. Then the following card made me worry. It said, "At approach of sister death, brother, let me rejoice in the Lord and sing his praise in the midst of my infirmities. By the grace of the Holy Spirit, I'm so close united to my Lord that through his goodness, I can indeed rejoice in the Most High himself." And this is from the Omnibus from St. Francis when he was about to die. And I know usually when the Lord gives this framing to me, it's not about physical death, but it's definitely a martyrdom, a real cross, a real dying to self. Really, really difficult. So to be honest, I love the fact the saints came to a place of rejoicing in their suffering. I'm nowhere near there. And like I said, when I get sister death, this means death, utter death to self, a plan, a direction, a vision, a huge contradiction awaits me that always takes my breath away. It never fails. I thought, oh no, Lord, how can I not worry? As I try to play the worst scenarios in my head of what the Lord could possibly allow to brace myself. But to be honest, it never works, because there's always something I don't think about. The Lord has a lot on his hands dealing with me. I know, guys, I'm a hot mess. I then began to hear the Lord speak, as many thoughts came to my mind. Jesus began, "Then stop worrying, my love. Peace I live with you, my peace I give to you, not as the world gives you, because there is trouble ahead. But I will give you surpassing peace, beloved, with your every yes and with your every surrender." I want to talk to you and my beloved brides about abandonment and total surrender. Do not fear the passion that lies before you, but rather find your strength in mine. Find your light in mine. Find your peace in my passion. That I already have the provision available for you to respond, to endure, and to persevere. Each time you're faced with a trial, it seems insurmountable at the time. But you got through it, didn't you? Yes, Lord, of course, through a lot of tears, confusion, many times contradictions. But I'm here still standing, still holding on to hope. So that counts for something. Jesus smiled. Yes, beloved, it does. I'm wanting my bride to be tools that I can use. You see, a tool is created for a purpose. And I say tools because not one tool is the same in a toolbox. Each has its different function. Just as in my body, each of you are tools that I've handcrafted, refined, polished. Some are still breaking, others I'm mending, and others I'm using, and some are still in the box waiting to be used. But whatever state you are in, I'm in need of your surrender. A tool used by the one needing it. A tool used by the one needing it. A tool doesn't use the master, but rather the master uses the tool according to his need, you see. I want my bride to be that surrendered. Just as my little flower was, St. Teresa of Lisieux. She understood this very well, and so did many of my saints. Their lives were full of contradictions, ups and downs and twists and turns, but they stuck with me. As she acquired the wisdom to understand that she was a tool in my hands, a little ball, she said, one in which the good Lord could bounce, play with, put on the shelf, squeeze, throw, or leave under her bed. But it doesn't matter to her how she's used, but that she was in my hands and at my expense, in whatever way I desired or needed. That is true abandonment, my beloved brides. At one moment I can tell you to get up and leave where you are, to follow me to a distant land. Then have you waiting there for a while for instructions. I can have you stay where you are, although you're uncomfortable and your anxiousness to do something, but I'm training you in patience and surrender. I can give to you Then in the same turn, ask you for that sacrifice by taking it away, just as I did with Abraham and Isaac. And you see, he gave to me willingly what he loved the most, what I had promised him and gave to him. My beloved brides, do not hold on to any idea, plan, vision, desire, person, or thing too tightly. And definitely do not hold on to dear life, because that is what I require, a soul who's willing to lose their life, lose their honor, praise, even finances, home, lose their family, children, lose their dignity, lose their influence, lose their self-will, their health, their self-love, lose their lives, all for the sake of love for me. What am I worth to you? Can I ask something of you? And in the same turn, as you begin to act, asking you to stop, just to see if you'll be obedient to my request. Can I promise something to you? Then in the same turn, ask you to give it back to me, like I did Job. Will you still call me Lord? Can I give you difficulty, a cross of sickness, or allow your body to be touched, or that of your children, and still have your praise and devotion? Can I ask you to leave everything, selling your possessions to the poor, and go off into the unknown lands, to unknown country people, which you do not know their language, or even their ways, all for the sake of the gospel? And will you listen to me immediately and in obedience? Can I ask you for that relationship you've been holding on to, believing for, and will you give it over to me, releasing that person and letting go? Can I ask you for your dignity and respect, allowing others to trample you, use you, take advantage of you, and say all manner of things about you, and trust that you will still walk in love and not defend yourself, becoming offended, or lose your charity? Can I ask you for security that you've built up either in relationships, in your family, and the job you covet, and how much money you have or have saved, your status at the church or place of influence? And if it is all taken away, will you still cling to me? That is abandonment, my beloved brides, that I may do with you what I please, when I please, and how I please, because you have given your life to me, and have asked me to use it to bring me glory. A soul fully abandoned to me, not loving me for what they can get, or even what I've done, but because of who I am. Now that pleases me the most. That is a soul I can use over and over again as a tool, and even entrust with the greatest of gifts and anointings at the appointed time, because they have been tried and tested by Sister Death, and have embraced her, willing to always die to themselves, their plans and opinions, saying, "Nevertheless, not my will be done, but yours, my Lord." Many of you struggle in this area. So many of you. Ask me for the grace to be totally surrendered and abandoned to my will, moment by moment, and I'll give to you this grace generously. That was the end of Jesus' message. A Little Ball of No Account by Saint Therese, the Little Flower. I had offered myself for some time now to the child Jesus as his little plaything. I told him not to use me as a valuable toy children are content to look at, but dare not touch, but to use me like a little ball of no value, which he can throw on the ground, push with his feet, pierce, leave in a corner, or press to his heart, if it pleased him. In any word, I wanted to amuse little Jesus, to give him pleasure. I wanted to give myself up to his childish whims. He heard my prayer. At Rome, Jesus pierced his little plaything. He wanted to see what there was inside it, and having seen, content with his discovery, he let his little ball fall to the ground, and he went off to sleep. What did he do during his gentle sleep? And what became of this little abandoned ball? Jesus dreamed he was still playing with his toy, leaving it and taking it up in turns, and then having seen it roll quite far, he pressed it to his heart, no longer allowing it to ever go far from his little hand. I am the child Jesus' little ball. If he wishes to break his toy, he is free. Yes, I will all that he wills. Oh Lord, give us the grace to will what you will, to be your little ball in your hands.